So what is a gross lease? What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to you with another real estate educational video, and this time we're going to be talking about leases. And one of the leases I'm going to discuss is called the gross lease. So what is that? Well, a gross lease is where, what is that again? Okay. So a gross lease is where you have a tenant. So let's say you have a duplex and your tenant is paying rent. Well, when it comes to everything on the property, you as the owner of the property, you will pay that. Comes to the maintenance, when it comes to the taxes, when it comes to the appearance, when it comes to repairs, any of those things, you will handle that. Whereas the tenant will be paying rent that you decide what the rent would be for the property. Whether that's them paying a rent of what happens to be your mortgage or whatever, that's up to you. But they only cover the rent. When it comes to repairs and such, you as the owner will pay that. However, there can be exceptions to that. So if the tenant is tearing up the property, then they're not necessarily going to get away with not paying that. It just means, in hindsight, they would only pay that. Now, most properties that I have seen, and most people that are renters normally pay just the rent and that's it. However, there have been exceptions where if things break because the tenant doesn't want the rent to go up in the following year due to repairs, what they do is they will tell the owner that, hey, if anything breaks, I'll let you know, but because I can't afford the rent to go up, how about this? If anything breaks, I will pay for it to be replaced. I will pay for the repairs to be done. Now, this can be good or it can be bad. Because at the end of the day, if you're the owner, I would say no to not do that. Because the thing of it is that who are they hiring to fix it, or who's fixing it? Are they certified to fix that? See, those are the things you have to think about being an owner when you have a property. Because if they just hire somebody, like let's say for example, the electricity goes out in one of the rooms and it's a wiring problem behind the wall, and the renters decide to call somebody to fix it, but it's not a certified electrician, and they rewire something that's illegal, that's not properly done, and then the renters decide to move out. Not because of that, they just decide to move out, and you let them call in the electrician to do what they need to do, but you don't know what type of electrician it was, and they got it resolved and it's working. You're like, okay, fine. And you're just like, out of sight, out of mind. And then all of a sudden, you have some new movers move in, and then all of a sudden, at some point, whether they're away from home or during the day, the wall starts heating up and gets really hot, and they start smelling smoke. Well, you as the owner are going to be liable for that. Because it's your property, and see what I'm saying, what I'm getting at here? Don't ever have renters fix your property up. You take care of it. You let them know you're calling the people to have the work done. If it's a gross lease, you handle the expenses on your property. You handle the maintenance. You handle the appearance. You handle what you want the interior to look like. You handle what you want the exterior to look like. Let your renters just make sure they pay the rent and keep it that way. Because if you don't, and everybody has different situations. I'm not saying it can't work. It's just it's like, you have a bowl of candy and you're the only one reaching into the candy. So okay, you're the only one eating it. But now when you have multiple hands of the candy, it's like, okay, who's taking more than a handful? I know I took a handful, but I'm noticing that a handful should only have been this much, and I'm noticing the candy's gone a lot quicker than it should be. Well, who was taking handfuls of candy? You don't know what's going on because you're not involved. So with a gross lease, one thing I really like about that is it makes it to where the terminology is that you're fully involved with your property, and the only thing that your tenant is involved in is just paying the rent on time that you had them sign a lease stating that they will do. Everything else you're in charge of. And it's good that way, so if something does get broke or something does break, you knew, and especially if you did your due diligence before you let them move in, you knew that everything was functional and working properly and that they're held liable for it. They can't be like, we didn't break them. Like, yes, you did, and you're going to pay for it. Is because you have your pictures, you have everything proving it. So just some things to keep in mind when you're dealing with a gross lease and what it's for. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.